All citizens born or naturalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. Now, you're probably wondering where that is. You probably never heard that before. Simple text, simple, elegant, born from the nation's bloody self-inflicted wound of wanting a melting pot and wanting to form a sovereign nation after so many years. It is not a policy proposal. It is not a nice idea. That's the 14th Amendment. It's one of the 3 amendments that rebuilt the country after we tried to tear it in half over the question of who gets to be a person. Yes, the black people and women and things of that variety. Donald Trump said this foundational repair to the nation's soul. And he said, this is ridiculous. We got too many immigrants right now because of this. He said, this is a bug in the system. He put a well actually on that. He is trying to get rid of birthright citizenship. He wants to get rid of that. That's what he wants to do, right? Now, at first, I was a little bit perplexed by this entire idea. So I read up on it. I used my eyes and I read up on everything about what this could possibly mean. And it is stupid that he wants to get rid of birthright citizenship. Birthright citizenship is very, very important. You don't get to delete core files because you don't like the output. This is just such political theater for the cruel people. Ending birthright citizenship is not a feasible legislative goal. It's not. It's a loyalty test, a piece of rhetorical red meat that does nothing. It does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. He is the first president to propose so many wildly disgusting, weird, wacky, albeit just cruel things for its people in all shapes and forms. The point is the proposition itself. By saying it, he performs a magical act. He transforms complex, deeply rooted legal principles into mere opinions he disagrees with. You don't deserve to be here if you were just born here. Just because you were born here doesn't mean you get to be here. Then what makes you worthy of being an American? Definitely not if you were born here. You got to do something. Do what? What do we have to do? Well, you got to have legacy here. Yeah, have legacy. It's crazy. I can't believe people agree with this. I am genuinely shocked. He's turning the bedrock into something negotiable. It's not negotiable. He's always the strong man when it comes to these. It's a power play disguised as a policy position. The goal is to demonstrate that he views the law as optional. And when you view the law as optional, you guessed it, we keep saying it over and over again, but people don't listen to us. He's using the authoritarian playbook. That's all he's doing. It's stupid. So let's talk history. I know a lot of people don't like history, but I want to talk history. He wants to repeal an amendment born from cradles of corpses. The 14th Amendment exists because the country once legally defined, you guessed it, black people as 3/5 of a person, and then after freeing them, tried to leave them in a limbo of non-citizenship. That's why the 14th Amendment exists. The amendment was a promise. Never again will we create a permanent underclass on this soil. Never again will we allow a human being born here to be a stranger in their own land. That was the reason. That's the reasoning. Now, you can argue that getting rid of birthright citizenship is not racist. You can argue that through day and night. You could do that. You could do that all day. But what was the point? Just look at history for 2 seconds. I beg of you to actually use your brains for more than 10 seconds to ask yourself, what was the reason the 14th Amendment exists? Well, there's no more slaves now. Well, there's nothing but immigrants. You're not understanding the point. To attack birthright citizenship is to spit on the grave of Reconstruction. It is to look at the solution to one of America's original sins and say, actually, let's try the sin again, but with different people. Come on, we can do it again. It's such a historical illiteracy, weaponized. It's taking the fire escape off a building because you're not currently on fire. I'm not on fire right now. Why would I have a fire escape? It's stupid. And I got to be clear about the intended outcome. If you end birthright citizenship, you do not get fewer immigrants. You get millions of new non-persons. That's it. You create a permanent hereditary underclass. Children born here, raised here, who speak only English, who know only this culture, would be legally ghosted. No right to vote, no right to certain jobs, no clear path to belonging. There would be a captive population here, but not of here. Powerless, easily exploited, politically invisible. And people, I've seen the argument that people keep saying, and I keep hearing it. Well, what if it's two immigrants and they just toss their baby here and just have the baby on American soil? We'd have to take care of it. Do you know how infinitesimally small that is? This is the dream of every authoritarian. This is it. A class of people who do all the work and have none of the rights. Because where would they go? Where would they go? Go back to your country. They don't have a country. Their country is America. They don't have. Where were their parents born? Our parents aren't here anymore. Parents can't get over here. The child's here. Well, we'll just ship them off. Well, the parents died. Well, ship them back to the country. We don't want them. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's a ready-made scapegoat for every social ill. A domestic them to rally us against. It's a caste system blueprint. We are bringing back this dehumanization practices because we don't like the rules we have now. I remember somebody said, oh, he's not trying to change the Constitution. He is. Now, I do think the Constitution needs some amendments. Because guess what? When you amend something, you correct it. That's what you do. The amendments weren't in there in the first place. They were created after the Constitution. So they amended things and added things to make it more suitable for the nation. That's what they did. That's what happened. That's the reality of it. I don't even understand the entire point of it, to be quite honest with you. I've thought about the point and I don't get it because it wouldn't work. It wouldn't stop a single person from crossing the Rio Grande. I believe it's the Rio Grande. A pregnant woman fleeing violence or starvation isn't doing a cost-benefit analysis of her unborn child's passport status. She's trying to live. So you punish the child for the parent's act. You create a baby who is born into legal purgatory. You haven't solved the problem. You just created a new one. A new, more vicious one. That's all you've done. You've exchanged a hypothetical administrative concern for a guaranteed human rights catastrophe. You're trying to stop a burglary by making it illegal to own a house is what you've done. The logic is absent. There's no logic. I don't think Trump ever thinks about the how, because the how is a black hole that would swallow the states whole. What happens the day after the announcement? Millions of birth certificates become questionable documents. School registrations, hospital admissions, driver's licenses, tax forms, all invalidated. The entire architecture of civil society, which relies on knowing who is a citizen and who isn't, collapses into this nightmare. How do you deport a 10-year-old to a country they've never seen? What embassy do you call? You haven't created order. You've ignited chaos indefinitely. It's only for new people. It's only for new people. Okay. It's only for new people, right? Let's say it's only for new people, right? Let's say somebody is here and they're waiting to get citizenship and both their parents are illegal and they have no family, no home to go back to. You're just going to send random child back into poverty. Well, it's not an American child. Well, if the child's white, well, we can think about it, right? If the child's white, think about it. You are throwing a grenade into the engine of your own car because you're annoyed at the traffic. That's what you've done. That is what the equivalent of what this is. This isn't even about immigration. It's about identity. Birthright citizenship is the ultimate democratic, messy, uncomfortable force. It says America belongs to anyone born on the soil. Full stop. You can't control it. You can't predict it. You can't stop it from making the country browner, more diverse, less traditional, because that's what you want. You want it to be less brown, less diverse, and you want it to be more traditional. That's what you want. Ending it is an attempt to reclaim a narrowing definition, to turn nationality from a fact of birth into a privilege of approval. It's replacing the rights of the soil with the rights of the blood. A shift towards an ethnic exclusionary idea of nationhood. It's not securing a border. It's fortifying identity. It's saying America should be a club with a bouncer, not a nation with a constitution. This is so horrifying, and I hate this. You know what's interesting? He would probably make the most quintessentially American experience imaginable if he succeeded. Being born on this soil and being told you do not belong. It's very American, actually, when you really think about it. Same thing we did to indigenous people. So realistically, he still is the most American president. To be American is to live in the gap between the soaring promise of the creed, all men are created equally, women, all men, every man, and the brutal, often violent reality of who gets to be included. The history of America is the history of expanding the circle of we slowly, painfully, and now kicking and screaming, it seems. Birthright citizenship is one of the last most powerful legal mechanisms forcing that circle open. It is the constitutional guarantee that the future of America is not determined by the prejudices of the past or by the accidents of birth in a land that promises on paper to belong to them. To end it is to confess that the promise was a lie we can no longer afford. It is to choose the club over the country, the wall over the welcome, the past over the future. It is to look at a crying newborn in Texas and see not a new American, but a problem to be solved. You guys got rid of Roe versus Wade. I'm talking about conservatives, mind you. Got rid of that. I didn't forget. Got rid of abortions because you care so much about your sky father, but you don't care about the people on the actual planet. You care about what's after more than what's present because you're worthless. We would see ourselves clearly, perhaps for the first time, not as a shining city on a hill, but as a gated community with an army desperately trying to rewrite the deed to the land. It's a disgusting thing to do. It's worthless and I hate it. Don't do this stupid nonsense, please.
I'm your nigga night, be my loyal, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride when you're free.